Today we're continuing on just playing some Rogue Tower. Now, where I left off last time, I still had some XP to go. Now, this I think is the most important thing that I'm currently in the hunt for, which means I need to just spend 29 cards. So let's look for anything under... And look at all these ones. So it's going to cost us, what, 100 to break in. Then we can go a couple of 5s, a couple of 10s, a couple of 15s. I mean, I'm sure the average of that would work out some other way that spending the 100 isn't worth as much as the 5s or something, but I'll have a look for ones that do come with a fair few 5s. This will also expose me to a few more towers too, which could be good. If I do 5 of them, then I'm averaging, what, 20 XP a turn because I've done that one. So I guess I'm worth doing the 15s as well. I knock the 15s off in this one. Yep. Alright. And let's just drop one of those. At this point, I mean, there's so much to sort of work through that I don't mind just sort of chipping into these at the moment, just in the name of getting to those. So 7 more cards. So that was a pretty worthwhile effort, that one. So let's head back to single defense and see how we go. Now, last time I had a really good layout to sort of finish on. This time, if I have a poor sort of short game to start with, at least what I can do is sorry, I've got to just get my time here. At least get 2 guys starting nice and cheap. That's a nice looking starting corner we're getting. Good. Like a guy there. Maybe one there. But basically the ideal thing I want to start with is a so it's already given me the option of that new tower. It will cost me mana, but mana is something that we've got. So let's have a look. Let's start him off there. That's a decent arc that he's got. Yeah, actually putting him a little bit further back might be the way to go. So if I demolish him for 300, I can then rebuild him there, and he can hit everything in that. Great. Let's see how he goes. Well, matching him with a lightning tower could be quite good. Get a few ballistas around that guy too, and around that guy. We're going to be all about the money in this one. I really haven't done anything with those. I haven't tested them out or anything. I really should. Let's go for that, I guess. Okay, so far, what's good is we have a nice long sort of corridor of a single line. So all of this is basically where the guys are going to consolidate into once they do start to sort of spread out. So it's all positive so far. I guess the only negative is that it's not curling back on itself. So these towers are all only going to be sort of that single use as a guy passes. Certainly be nice to get mortars at some point here. I will set these guys up in my normal. Some do armor, some do shield. His armor, he was shield. His armor. His shield. Oh. His armor, he is shield. Oh, overshot. I guess at the moment what we're doing is we're just going to let the houses pick for us where these guys are going. I'll just have to remember at the very end to have a look to see how well I've done for money from these houses, and if this was a worthwhile sort of either way to build or way to spend. I mean, currently you can see a lot of guys are getting through. This does slightly turn on itself at this point, so that's quite good. Bit of flamethrower in there. Certainly are waiting for more flamethrowers at this point, because you can see how little the ballistas are doing at knocking these guys off. In part because they are aiming at the healthier of the guys. I mean, these two guys are doing great work when they get to them, though. So armor is their main thing, too. Alright, beautiful. There's our mortars. So what we will do is we will put some mortars up on the highest hills that we've got. And again, we'll give them the split. Now, I realize that they don't do anywhere near as much damage to shields as they do to armor, so really they should be focused on just on armor, but I will try and upgrade them later to make sure that's not as imbalanced as it currently is. Go for one of these next, and up there, as soon as we can afford him. I haven't noticed how these two are doing for mana. You see them. Oh, by the way, we've got siphons that we can chuck into. But we should pay attention to how that how I'm doing for mana before I worry about that. And I'm probably better off spending the money on a new flamethrower than on a mana siphon if I don't need the mana. There's a Tesla coil. So now we can make some nice little complementing combinations. I'd like to go 2 of those there, because I think that guy will have enough height to hit all that range. We certainly do want to start getting our mana siphons going if we're now into the Tesla game. I'm liking the fire towers so far, though. Yeah, that much. This is also a fantastic layout so far, and the fact that this hasn't split at all means that I can still operate all the way up here. Like I can put mortars in this section here surrounding that house, and it's still all these guys are just single targets. Like everyone's going to have to file through this one. I'm sure eventually they'll split, but till they do, advantage me. Okay, so let's put in the second Tesla coil there. That should have enough range to reach out and around. We will get another mana siphon in too. So we're currently on wave 12, and Boogie's going to come in on wave 15. So we're going to definitely need to be prepared by then. Like slow. Cool, continue to expand. Quite impressed with the range of those fire guys too. I might try putting one somewhere, say like on the top of this. See how he does. I do feel even somewhere like here where he's going to be shooting down a corridor might actually make him more effective if he's going to hit everyone in that line. See, if he's gonna, if I'm gonna have him on a corner and he's gonna hit all the guys moving the corner, he's just gonna sort of move with them. I do wonder though, on a like a re-height corner like that, what sort of range I could get out of these guys, and if I put one up there, if he's gonna hit everything all the way around him. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, go for that. And we will just up our siphoning a little bit more. Certainly at the moment we're taking out guys well before they're getting into our real meat of our town, which is good. Go for all of those spots there. Oh. Wait till we afford this. We can afford this one, and then we will go there. Go with 11 for now. I won't use this one because he's sitting on a nice tall hill. But possibly there could be some other things that come up that could be handy to put there. And for now, we'll just wait until I sort of get below, I guess, 100 mana at some point, maybe 50 mana, just to sort of know that the setup isn't surviving as it is. I would like to get a fire guy up here somewhere too. Possibly there. That's a nice range. 2 damage to shields. All mortars gain damage to shields. Go those guys to shields. Definitely, I usually have a much more consolidated build than what you're seeing here, but that's purely because of when the path splits. Because it hasn't split, I can just continue to stretch out as opposed to sort of building up in a single area. This guy's doing some nice work up here. These 3 towers can clear out everyone, with the exception of Oogie, then it does give me good hope that Oogie's going to really cop a beating. Might go for 2 ballistas up here. Why I always click on them twice. I always want to double check to make sure I'm actually making one shield and one armor. Nicely done, fellas. Alright. This would be a good time to use those house things, because the haunted houses, because this is still on my single line path. Okay, so this guy here. So notice that everything goes up a little bit. If this is their damage or whatnot. They sort of, that one gets the focus, but they all sort of upgrade. I think I'm the first of our shield guys. We'll see how they fare. And this is where it's sort of a waste that this guy's focusing on shield. So we will give him a bit of a boost to it as well. Now I wonder if I should change what he's looking at, because he's going for furthest progress. Whereas these guys are already going to start burning once he's got them on fire. Now, I feel like I want another sort of setup like this up here. I mean, that square is actually that square. They're identical. So I could go 2 Tesla towers and a fire tower here, and possibly one there. See if they can AoE out a lot of the stuff. Don't want to forget about ballista towers though. So this is the other one that I can now look at. Fortifies nearby paths with landmines. Let's go for shield damage. Quite a graveyard we're getting back there. The good thing as well is that these guys are so spaced from these guys that hopefully the mana, all of them, will basically be back by the time it gets to these guys after these ones have used it. Or that they won't even be using it at enough, because there's not enough guys going on it at once to tax it down to a 0. I had doing nice work on them here though. This is one good thing about this style of play as well, is that as opposed to my normal play style where say the split would happen here, so I'm building all the way back here, I have to wait for everyone to come to me, whereas in this one I can keep moving towards them. Okay, so we can see that there's a lot of shields that are still very upright here. I suppose with a guy like this, if he's always targeting the furthest away, or closest to the exit, it means he's actually going to sort of hit everyone, and so absolutely everyone is going to get this, I guess, fire damage ticking away on them. With a tower as across the board strong as he is, definitely leave an impression. Even some really nice corners here that I've just had I've done nothing with because we've moved sort of forward so quickly. All right, let's get a flamethrower in there. Still going. This one will make armor too, because their genuine focus is meant to be armor. Yeah, these quick guys were a problem for me last time. All the guys that converted into quick guys. We'll see how the mana goes with all four of these things up here going hard out. So far, so good. I'm gonna let him just focus on the furthest forward guy. Definitely doing some good work so far. I suppose the only problem's going to be is that if anyone breaks through this back part, these guys have not had a chance to really upgrade that much because nothing's getting through to them. They're all like level 3, level 4, level 1. Mortis gain poison damage. That sounds pretty good. This map really isn't curling back on itself too much at this point. That can curl back to a point here. Nice. Alright, so we've got 1,000 gold that we can work with here. We could move forward again. Definitely just wandering outwards so far. Look forward to seeing what the damage per money spent in this one ends up being. Just got to remember to level up this guy a bit. Alright, we can see that mana is getting right down at the moment. So let's get a bit more siphoning in. Good. Glad to see that turned a corner. Imagine that all my houses have started to turn an okay investment at this point. At least, especially these early guys. This one I can imagine has a little while to go before it's got value to it, but it's still an investment. I feel like just a couple of more ballistas will do me some good. I might try and pair a flamethrower with this guy too, though. Like the scattering of flamethrowers seems good if they are going to continue to burn like almost the entire length of walking the path. Sure, I realized I could have put a Tesla tower there, just like this guy. So he doesn't really need to be anywhere near as centered. Because he's got a much wider range. So fingers crossed this comes this way. Well, we may as well learn about the shredders. Not really going to give me any hints about what it's going to do. Let's put it there. Okay. That seems significant. I can see that mana is still taking a fair bit of a hit, so we'll just get even more siphons in there. Depends on how much I'm using in a single punch as well, too. Eventually my cap will cause a problem if I've got, say, 180 mana worth of guys trying to do things. At least the higher this is, the faster it'll recover anyway. So here's a good across the board damager. It's good to see. Now we've got to root for this to turn here, because otherwise I guess we're going to end there. But I don't know if there's necessarily any problem to it ending. I mean, I suppose it just means that the they just won't go any further away, or does it actually declare it a win? Hopefully we can get our hands on one of the Haunted Mansions too, just to get an idea of what it does. Good to see these guys all leveling up. It hasn't really, I guess once they sort of get to a certain level, they're not going to go too quick. That's where money is going to come into upgrading them. It does make me wonder as well what the value would be then in just upgrading one guy. So just one tower. This is meant to communicate and tax the dead from nearby graves. Give it a go. Nearby graves 1, tax efficiency 1, death tax due 1 gold. Alright. How can I get someone... Doesn't look like there's any sort of spots I can get 2 gold going. Yeah, I don't get what's going on, but I mean, if it's making me money, I guess it's again a long-term investment. As long as it doesn't burn through too much of my mana. We just spend the money that we've got right now to build more of these guys, I suppose. This is more the assumption that as long as I've got enough, I've got more mana than I have a bigger need for gold than I do for mana, basically. I'll just go wild with it, see how it plays out. I'll build a few more siphons too to help offset. Alright, so let's see what happens when we're bury it back into a corner. I know that it does, the death tax does actually show up at the end stats too, so you can see how well we've done money making wise with that when we get there. So I don't know if it just declares this a win at the end if I can't expand any further, or if it's just that the waves will just keep coming now from the same distance. I hope they just keep coming, because it'd be a shame to just end like that. Feels like it was given ample chance to create a split in the line. Okay, so we can see we are well out of mana at the moment. So, do we have any siphon space left? Just that one. And they're off height, because that didn't count. This guy's definitely burning through it. Alright, so here we go. Zombie Oogie coming. Now who's our shield guy? Slowly chipping through it, but not too quickly. And these are the little guys that caused me lots of problem last time. When they die, they create those super fast guys, but hopefully they shouldn't be too much of an issue this time. Now this isn't too bad how low we've gotten him, with how many other guys are still running about, so he's not the single focus of everyone. It's nice to see a lot of poison, a lot of fire. Bit of bleeding on there too. We are all the way out of mana at this point. So we should possibly look at getting rid of some of our houses, as surviving and killing this guy is probably more important than the money we'll make. Really the only hope now is that we've got the cards that give us a bit more mana. But this guy's going to do, he's going to sink anyway. By the time this guy gets around to these, if he gets that far, that mana's going to be all the way back up. And there we go, he's out of the shield area. And that's a lot of burn on him. Is that a length of time or an amount of damage that it's going to output onto him? There we go, our first time killing Zombie Oogie. Something under the graphics there. Looks a bit... Did the green change colour? Maybe it's sunsetting. Okay. So we definitely need to be able to address our mana problem. So I will get rid of some houses. That guy doesn't even have any. So he's adjacent to 1. He's only adjacent to 1 as well. It's my only one adjacent to 2. Okay, also I have 4,000 damage here. Let's start to address this a little bit. Get rid of a whole bunch of them. A few of these guys are definitely a risk of getting all the way through. And mainly because these things are just switched off at the moment. There's such a wide spread of the front guys to the back guys that all the towers are currently still vying for mana. We can continue to demolish, I'd say. Get down to those 3. Guess we'll just cop those ones. We are getting some big money still, so let's continue to spend. It's good to see that we're at least knocking off some of these guys. Hopefully our mana problem is a little bit better off. A little bit. But not good if we're letting all these guys through. So you can only survive, I'd say, one more wave of that. These guys are doing some really good work, these two. Now, a lot of this is just straight health. But let's get this guy focusing a bit on health too. Yeah, I don't know so far. I think really at this point it is all about having mana. Just the fact that we're running out of mana is it's gonna sink us. Or essentially, as long as these guys at the start maybe have enough mana that they can persevere and just sort of like do major damage really early. And the guys on this wave aren't as split, so you can see that basically a lot of them are already dead. But for now, we won't worry about building any more towers. Maybe ballistas would be, or the mortars, because neither of them cost us any mana. But everything, but to me, it feels like what we want to be doing is just upgrading the mana. Upgrading the damage of the guys that we've already got. And the fact that you can see all of these guys bleeding, saying that he's doing a nice little extra damage over time effect on them, along with the poison and the fire that they're getting hit with. And I realize as well, at this point, I don't have a lot of fire upgrades out there too, just sort of the, I guess, the cheap ones. I mean, I could move this guy and that guy to get 2 more mana. But I'm not sure what sort of amount of difference that would make. Getting rid of the houses, I think, has definitely helped, though. Oh, these guys going for... I got rid of the one that was worth 2, didn't I? Let's put him back. Lots of money. Okay.